How's it going, everyone? Right, so this is going to be not the most polished, not the most engaging in terms of like things popping up on the screen and all the rest of it. This is kind of off the bat, not planned. I've got some notes to try and keep me on track, but I think this video is going to be really, really valuable to a lot of people. So I encourage you to watch this. What this video is about is about a chap that I've just got off the phone to. We've had a conversation for about half an hour. I've got his permission to use his name and talk about our conversation. So the guy that I've been speaking to is Irfan, and he was inquiring about the new training program that I've just launched in controls and automation, all the rest of it. And he's in a bit of a see, I can't get my words out. He's in a bit of a predicament, and he wanted just sort of my advice. I'm not saying that I'm a genius or anything like that, but he just wanted to sort of bounce some ideas off me. So I think the conversation that we had, it's a shame that I didn't record it. Maybe I should think about getting some recording software. But anyway, I'm going to summarize our conversation because I think it will be really interesting. And if you see me pause like that on occasions, it's because this isn't planned, and I'm just trying to keep things on track and cut out dead space of me where I have mind blanks and need to think about how I'm going to say something so it's hopefully more engaging to you guys. So just ignore it if I pause for a second. Not that it'll affect you guys, but that's why I'm pausing occasionally. So Irfan's situation. So Irfan, he's basically been in an apprenticeship program for I think the last year, and he's done a undergrad as well. So this apprenticeship that he's doing is, I think, it's part of something that Siemens do, and it's all part of Salford or Stafford. Hang on. Yeah, it's Salford University, and it's something that Siemens have partnered up with them to do, and it's a part of a degree for controls and automation. So he's just coming to the end of that. He's just coming to the end of his degree, and he's been part of this sort of apprenticeship program, working for Amazon. So working in one of Amazon's automated warehouses, basically, and he's been working as a maintenance engineer for them. Anyway, I can't remember how long he's been doing that. I think, possibly a year, because I think this is a year-long apprenticeship program. Anyway, he's coming to the end of it all. He's getting a little bit bored of doing maintenance work, so he's started applying for jobs, looking for other opportunities that are out there, and he's come across a new opportunity with a local small business, which I'll show you because he sent me an email actually with the job description. So let me grab that. Yeah, I'm hoping you can still see me and also see this. So I've protected his email address, so I'll just forwarded it on. But this is a position. I'm not going to go through it all, but it's basically for a small family-run business. They seem really, really nice, and it's basically a role where he's going to be involved in the whole process of designing and building control systems. So sorry. So he's been inquiring, and he's had some response from some of them, and one of them in particular is this one here, and they seem like a really nice small family business. I'm just going to read from my notes here. They got employees there that have been there for years and years. They've been really good in terms of waiting. I think this was a couple of months ago that he spoke to them, and they said they'd be willing to wait a couple of months until he finishes his apprenticeship at the end of this month, July 2023. What this role is, they basically manufacture industrial doors, fire shutters, security shutters, and they're looking to employ an electrical engineer to play a pivotal role within their business. So the successful applicant will be involved in the design, the test, the build, and sometimes installation of electrical control systems for a wide range of products and applications. So yeah, as you can see, it sounds like a really good opportunity. The opportunity to get into the whole lifespan of the project, from like concept all the way through to design, testing, building. I'm sure the programming will be in there as well, all the way to sort of the commissioning and potential installation on site. So yeah, amazing opportunity, and they're offering 45k for this. So now, in that time span, he's also mentioned to his boss at Amazon, or whoever it is, that this is what he's thinking of doing. They've thought, shit, sounds like we're going to lose a decent guy, and this guy, Irfan, certainly sounds decent to me, because they basically are trying to incentivize him to stay at Amazon. I've also spoke to the guy, and he just sounds like, not only has he got all this technical background and experience, he just sounds like a decent, reliable, just hardworking. I know it was only a half an hour's phone call, so yeah, make of this what you will. But you know what I mean when you just get that impression of someone. So yeah, he's clearly good. They clearly want to hang on to him. So what the guys at Amazon, or his boss at Amazon, is now offering him, they're offering him basically a promotion. Again, just reading from my notes, hang on. Yeah, so I'm not sure if it's a promotion, but after he finishes this apprenticeship, there's going to be roles available for these people, obviously. And one of them is an automation engineer. And the basic is 60k. But I think from what he was saying, if I remember correctly, it's more analysing data and trying to sort of like within the whole Amazon warehouse and just trying to fine tune things. So it's quite, it's opinions, but it's quite fixed. There's not a huge variety. It's quite fixed, but it's more money, 60k. Plus, he was saying that most people end up getting 15k in bonuses a year as well. So 45k versus 75k. So yeah, this is where Irfan's dilemma comes in, and this is what he was asking me, what my opinion was, and any pointers from my experience. So he's obviously now got a very real potential offer of 75k, staying at Amazon and going down a different role, or he can join this much smaller business, being offered 45k. Probably not as. I mean, I've worked for smaller businesses like this. There's processes, procedures that just don't exist. It's a bit like the Wild West with some of these smaller businesses. But there's opportunity to be involved in the whole process of control systems. So he doesn't know what to do. So this is my suggestion, and this is what I'm telling him based on my own experience and my own opinions. So the first thing that sprung to mind when he was telling me all of this is, well, firstly, Amazon, they're not going anywhere. I'm pretty sure of it. I'm sure you could find lots of evidence out there, statistics to show how quickly Amazon are growing. So I don't see Amazon going anywhere. They're going to continue to expand. Also, there's going to be other similar, or there is already similar types of businesses that operate using these high-tech automated warehouses. One that springs to mind, it's not quite the same, but similar thing is Ocado. And I'm sure, yeah, there's much more similar sort of warehousing businesses out there that operate in a similar way. So the opportunity to work for a company like that and other companies isn't going anywhere. The fact that your boss or whoever it is that's trying to encourage you to stay, to go on to this career development program and become an automation engineer with them, is a really good sign, that firstly, that you're good at what you do. So people that are good at what they do, certainly engineers in this sort of space and in these industries, is very encouraging, because really there's not a lot out there. So very good engineers are in short supply, which means, demand is high, which means you've got a lot of leverage. So you can demand more money. You'll be getting offers from lots of different offers from different. Can't get my words out. You know what I mean? You'll be getting offers. If you put your name out there, you'll be getting lots of different offers and lots of different opportunities will be coming your way, especially if you can sort of communicate that to people and communicate your understanding of things. So on the Amazon front, that opportunity is not going anywhere. There's always going to be those sorts of opportunities for those types of companies. And if you've already made a good name for yourself with that person, I'm sure they'd be more than willing to give you references. And you can always, if you're applying to work with Amazon again, year or two down in a couple of years, you could always use that person's name as a reference and say, they were encouraging me to go down this route, and they'd probably chat to them internally and get an understanding of what sort of person you are. I'm sure they'd be saying very good things, so it'd make it very easy for you to get back with Amazon later down the line. So that kind of, I hope that probably sort of gives you a taste of where I'm going with this. So the experience, on the other hand, with this smaller family-run business, yes, there's going to be things that are going to annoy you most likely, and I'll touch on this with first-hand experience in a second, like procedures and you doing more than you might think is your fair share of doing things, and just things not being organised or in place or things like that. But what you're going to get with this smaller business is, I'm sure, like you've already mentioned, they're a close-knit family business, so everyone knows each other, everyone mucks in. I'd hope anyway, everyone sort of mucks in, and you end up doing more than just like a singular thing. So like for a bigger company, like let's just say Siemens or something, you'll be tech support, or you'll be design, or you'll be a commissioning engineer, or you might build panels, and that's it. And that's all you're doing day in, day out. Whereas with a small business like this, you get to, as it said in the job description, you get such a broad range of experience and getting to see the whole life cycle of a project, from when a spec comes in, or you might even be writing the specs based off what a customer's asking for. So like all the way from the spec to then doing the initial plan, the designs, the documentation, thinking about the control philosophy, doing all the schematics, then actually building the panel and going through all of that, doing the programming or the initial programming, then getting to then potentially be involved in some of the installation on site, the commissioning, the programming on site, the handing over to the customer, and then potential support afterwards. I mean, just getting that experience, having that opportunity where you're going to see all of that and be involved in all of that is priceless, in my opinion. Let me gather my thoughts. Yeah, so that opportunity to get that level of experience across, that many different departments, if you like, is just that opportunity is really, really worth getting involved with. And even if you just stayed there for 1 year, 2 years, whatever, however long, however comfortable you feel, like just a year, that would give you so much in terms of knowledge, experience. So that's where I would be going with it. And I just wanted to point you towards my LinkedIn. So I had exactly the same experience when I joined R&B Industrial as an electrical controls engineer. All of that I've explained, that's what I was doing for these guys. And I'm so grateful, although, things weren't perfect and you don't always see eye to eye to people, that experience that I got from working with those guys, it was, I'm so grateful to have had that opportunity, genuinely. And I was there for a year, as you can see, just under a year and a half. And actually, it's not on my LinkedIn because I was contracting for them. I was self-employed. But when I was self-employed through this sort of period here, I worked doing a similar thing actually for a BMS company based in London, where again because I'd had that experience here at R&B Industrial doing the whole thing, I was then able to work for another small company and be able to do exactly the same thing, but in the BMS industry, because ultimately it's all electrical controls. You do something in industrial, you can then you do this sort of thing in industrial sector, you can then apply that to commercial, BMS, home automation. It's the same thing. It's the same process. It's the same fundamental electrical controls. So that's exactly what I did for a company called Neo. Is I did the same thing for them for more money, because I knew how you sort of start to understand your own worth as well, and how valuable you are with all that knowledge and experience. That, like I said, a larger company would be employing, you know, 4, 5, maybe 6 different people, or have that many different departments specializing in that one area. So once you understand, you know, that much knowledge and experience that you've got doing that wide range of things, it's just very, very valuable, certainly to small businesses, because they don't have to employ a designer, they don't have to design a panel builder, they don't have to design a programmer, an installation team. You can do it all. So super, super valuable. Yeah. So yeah, with all that said, so say you did do that, then that's gonna say you were there for a year. You could always go back to that Amazon opportunity after that year, and actually by that time you'd have far more experience, knowledge. You'd probably be more suited to a high end role. You could then, after that year there, you could then go to another small business and explain what you can do, and basically take a massive chunk of that business in terms of the responsibility off, you know, 1 or 2 people. And that, like I said earlier, that's really, really valuable. If you can take like a massive load of responsibilities away from a business owner, like that's very valuable to them. If you recognize that, you can demand more money. And yeah, be made basically kind of a senior member of that business. Or you could go and do your own thing. So you could, yeah, go and start your own business, or contract. I mean, there's in any of these industries. So BMS, industrial, home automation, to name a few. I mean, industrial is massive, so you could go down. There's loads of routes you could go down in industrial, or you could become a consultant and just kind of like a contract consultant, and yeah, basically help these smaller businesses or even larger businesses with the things that you've been doing. Right, I can tell I'm starting to ramble, and so yeah, I'm going to try and start wrapping this up. So the final thing really is just comparing the money. So 45k, which is pretty standard for an electrical controls engineer, compared to 75k with the Amazon company. So if you look at it though, if you work it out after tax, because obviously if you're taking home 75k, you're above that higher tax threshold of 40%, whatever it is. So let's look at how that actually works out, how that looks. So take home with 45k, you'd be basically 35. Take home 75k, you'd be 52. So actually, although it looks like a 35k increase a year, actually it's only 18k. And I think, let's say you just did it for a year, losing out on 18k for that amount of experience and knowledge and just exposure is 100% worth it, because you will make that 18k up, I don't know what, tenfold, 100-fold, 1,000-fold into the future. Like that experience that you'll get with that smaller business is worth far more than that number there. So that's the point I'm making, is go with that opportunity. Even though it's less money, that opportunity and that experience that you'll get is far more valuable, far more valuable than just that 18k. And I think you'll be happier as well, because you'll get so much more variety being involved in all those different departments. So, of course, I've got to do a quick plug. So, Irfan, about an hour after our conversation, I was very pleased to see that he joined the training program that I've got on offer. So, this weekend is 50% off. So, it's 50% off the registered retail price, and that's going to end on Sunday. So, I encourage you, if you're serious and you want to get involved, you want to become a automation and controls expert, which you can apply these learnings in any industries like the BMS, industrial, home automation. I encourage you to get involved before the end of the weekend. Just a little taste of what it looks like. So this is what you'll get when you join. So you've got the academy, which is kind of a resource of loads of different things that I've been collecting over the last 4 or 5 years in the industry. So that's that. I'm not going to go into that in too much detail because that's not the main thing. The main thing is the control system specialist. And that is basically I've written here the definitive guide to designing and building control systems that transcends industries. I know that sounds cheesy, but what I'm getting at is this is a framework, a process from the spec all the way through to the design, the documentation, the build, the testing, and then basically having it ready for commissioning on site. So that's what that does. And there's lots of bonuses in there as well for like understanding how to use CAD, all of that, blah, blah, blah. Some tech calls in there as well. It's another new bonus that's featuring only this weekend. And then you get into the project. And that's where it all starts. You've got lots of downloadable resources to follow along with, like CAD files and whatnot. So yeah, if you're interested in getting involved, check out the link in the description. It will take you to the weekend sales page. It will explain everything. If you're watching this afterwards, that link should still take you to the sales page. It might not be at 50% off because this is sort of a one-time thing, but at least you'll be able to see this training program. So anyway, I hope that video has been useful to you guys. Yeah, see ya.